John Gill, Nahum chapter 3, verse 18. Reading first from the King James Bible, quote, "Thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people are scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathereth them," unquote. John Gill, quote, "Thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria." Who was this king of Assyria? It is not easy to say. Many thought and different rulers, but no one really knows. It is remarkable that double destruction of the city and empire is related by different historians, and those that speak of the one say nothing of the other. But this king, be he who he will, his case was very bad. His shepherds slumbered. His ministers of the state, his counselors, subordinate magistrates in provinces and cities, and particularly in Nineveh. His generals and officers in his army were careless and negligent of their duty, and gave themselves up to sloth and ease, and which also was his own character. As historians agree in, and they were dead, slumbering in their graves, and so can be of no more service to him. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust, be brought very low into a very mean and abject condition. Their honor shall be laid in the dust, and they shall be trampled upon by everyone, or they shall sleep. That is, die and be buried, as the Vulgate Latin renders it. They shall dwell in silence, as others have their habitations in the silent grave, being cut away by the enemy, so that this prince would have none of his mighty men to trust him, but see himself stripped of all his vain confidency. Thy people are scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathereth them. Like sheep without a shepherd, which being frightened by beasts of prey run here and there is none to get them together, and bring them back again. So the subjects of the king, being terrified at the approach of the Medes and Babylonians, forsook their cities and fled to the mountains, where they were scattered about, having no leader or commander to gather them together, and put them in regular order to face and oppose the enemy. So the Targum interprets it, the people of thine armies. Unquote. Scripture quote, "Thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people are scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathereth them." Unquote. End of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 18.